Hey guys, welcome back to my channel where we discuss investment opportunities as well as keeping you guys up to date with the ins and outs of what's happening in today's market. All right, guys, today's video is the long awaited. This one has been in the works for some time now. The stock versus crypto trading series episode 1. Episode uno. I'm really excited for this one. Yeah, so basically what we're going to be doing is putting an X amount in crypto and an X amount in stock, and letting it compete with each other based on my findings. And yeah, I'm very interested to see how this plays out. So we're going to be going through my 3 picks for the trading series, starting off with the crypto markets, and then we're going to move on to the stock markets later on. So my first pick for this trading series would be Bitcoin. Right? Why I'm choosing Bitcoin is because it's paired with all the other coins out there. It's usually the first one to rally up. When it does rally upwards, many coins, despite other than a few coins, do follow Bitcoin's trend. When Bitcoin goes up, other coins go up. When it goes down, other coin goes up. So there's still kind of the trend we are in, although we are seeing some coins break out from following the Bitcoin trend. But yeah, so this is one of my main reasonings. And another one is because if there's any progression in the cryptocurrency world, for example, more integration, more utility, more usage, more accessibility to the end user, Bitcoin is always going to be the first one to get its foot in the door. For example, if Amazon goes through with their cryptocurrency payment ways, Bitcoin will be included. When Tesla was talking about accepting Bitcoin as payment, Bitcoin was the coin that was chosen. So if there's any big step in the cryptocurrency world, Bitcoin will be involved, despite it being slightly older technology. So this is why I'm choosing Bitcoin. All right, the second coin I will be choosing for today's trading series would be Binance Coin. Now, I know this might sound controversial to some of you fellow Malaysians watching out there. The Securities Commission of Malaysia has been cracking down on Binance and its operations within Malaysia, saying it's been operating illegal. Binance has been facing this even from several other countries as well. We've seen the Barclays Bank in the UK not allow P2P transactions to go on there. So they are facing a lot of backlash regulations, although that's pretty normal when it comes to cryptocurrency. Regulations are going to keep coming in and in and in. Also, the fact that it's facing a lot of backlash from the cryptocurrency, from the crypto communities as well, saying that it's not decentralized. But in my opinion, I feel like they're doing, some good things. They've got their own chain. They've got 2 separate chains. And yeah, the price has been holding quite strong since the last peak. I feel like they're going to be doing more and more things, and I'm quite confident in Binance Coin. Therefore, I will be picking up some BNB for the trading series. All right, guys, just to let you know, I did pick up these coins prior to shooting the video. I've gone ahead and put it in a table for you guys to see, so we can see the cryptocurrencies that I picked up. I did put 1,000 ringgit in each, as you can see here. And this is the price of which I bought it at, and the total coins that I obtained with the 1,000 ringgit. So we can see here. Now I'm going to be putting 1,000 ringgit in each of the stocks as well. All right, guys, we have a very interesting one for you guys today. We are moving on to our first pick for the stock markets for our trading series for today. We're going to go with Serba Dinamik Holdings. Now, some of you might heard of this. If you're a Malaysian, you probably heard of it due to the controversy surrounding it, and it's been in the news lately. And coming from a crypto background, I love seeing this kind of things. Risky investment, which is second nature to me. Volatility, risk. For me, it's high risk, high reward, right? Then, having said that, this is not by any means any financial advice. I'm just sharing my own findings and my own investing journey. Yeah, we can see now the price is at 40 cents. If you look at the 6-month chart, it's down 75%. Right, over the past 6 months. We can see the peaked out here in 1 ringgit 92 cents, and now we're sitting at 40 cents. Right now, what caused this? We're gonna get into it, and we're gonna get into why I think that this is gonna recover very quickly. Just gonna bring you guys through the chronological breakdown of what's been happening with Serba Dinamik over the last few months. So To start off, basically, it started off with a dispute between KPMG, which were their external auditors at the time, and Serba Dinamik, where they highlighted some discrepancies in the funds, something like 4 billion ringgit or something like that. Shortly after that, they were back and forth going on, and they resigned. And shortly after they resigned, they were then sued by Serba Dinamik. So yeah, we're just going to take a look at a few articles and why I think this is a risky investment, and why I think this is a good investment, and why I personally am investing in it. All right, let's just quickly take a look at this article over here. It says, after auditing blip, Serba Dinamik board stays focused on the future. Right, we reviewed their findings and agreed that KPMG's actions were unjustified, hence the lawsuit. Since then, Karim said the company has appointed Ernst & Young's as one of the big 4 auditing firms to perform an independent review, although that didn't go through, saying that EY declined, refused to give them access to their audit findings. So KPMG was refusing to hand over some of the documents and some of the files, and managed to get the SC and Bursa's assistance in the matter. Since then, Serba Dinamik has appointed Nexia to replace KPMG, and we can see here, he says, we don't have anything to hide, therefore we've been so quick to bring in another auditor to look over our accounts. So this is a good sign for them. They have cleared the air as fast as they could, and appointed, they wanted to appoint EY for independent review, but that didn't happen, and they appointed another external auditor to quickly try to resolve the matter, and to show that they're not hiding anything. We can see another article here by Berita Harian, by Berita Harian Online, showing that Serba Dinamik doing their part to give back, in the pandemic that we're all going through, giving internet access to rural areas. So we can see, Serba Dinamik being an oil and gas service provider, they have their hands in a lot of other industries which they are exploring. The IT industry, oil and gas. They are being more upfront about their business and where their projects are coming from. So this might be a good sign, for investors out there. All right, guys, stock pick number 2, we're going to be going with CTOS Digital. Now, CTOS Digital just launched their IPO. Was it last month? Opened at about 1 ringgit 50 cents. Now, we're just going to quickly take a look at some of the figures and some of the information we can get on it before investing. All right, let's go. Let's quickly take a look at what CTOS Digital is. Basically, CTOS Digital Berhad acts as a holding company where their subsidiaries provide digital solutions, right? And some of their subsidiaries even bring in revenue from international customers, like selling service and credit reporting, insurance, and things like that. Being a credit management service provider in Malaysia, majority of their customer base is localized. Something to take note of. The thing to highlight here, we can see their offer for sales would be 40.9% of the share capital, whereas 40% would be kept by their existing shareholders in WEDS, and 9% will be kept by their founding and directors and such. Let's just take a look at the customer segmentation by revenue. We can see here this is the commercial, key accounts, and direct to consumer. Now, CTOS has a large customer base, having 15 million direct consumers, as well as 8 million companies, right, registered and using their services. Now, CTOS also has a high customer retention rate due to their subscription modules and their recurring payment modules, that they are able to retain their customers. So we can see from previous years, there's always been a steady increase, and most of their customers are recurring. Some other things to look out for, for the forecasted growth of the revenue. While we are on the topic, we're looking at things like increase of financial literacy between the population, the growing SME sectors, increased demand of credit information, and new fintech companies joining the market. And cost for acquisition for a service report in Malaysia is actually very, very low, averaging about 6 ringgit as compared to other more developed countries out there. Let's quickly take a look at some of the strengths and weaknesses. Number 1 is market leader with strong branding. CTOS is very well known, and they are the current market leaders in credit management service providers, and it's actually doing quite well even if you compare to other service providers in the ASEAN countries. CTOS is performing quite well as compared to that. Loyal and diversified customer base using subscription models and recurring revenue. Like I mentioned earlier, they are doing very, very well. We can see over the last 3 years, they have managed to retain up to 80 to 90% of their customers. All right, now let's take a look at some of the risks involved, right? The first one being obviously the very high valuation at a 60x. That's obviously one of the risks involved, being valued at very high. Secondly is the regulations, right? CTOS being heavily tied with the government might need to comply with a lot of regulations set by the government, which might cause them, regulatory scrutiny. For example, leading up to my next point, the anti-competition law, where more than 60% market share, they might be deemed under that law. And we can see from here, I think, if I'm not mistaken, it has a 71% market share. So they could be scrutinized by a lot of government regulations if they are seen to be monopolizing the market, in other words. All right, guys, for the third and final stock, I chose Twitter. Okay, why I chose this is quite random. Actually, I chose it simply because I use this platform every single day. Taking a look at the graph over here, we see it's down 4.4% in the past month. So I feel like it's not the worst entry point. I'm basically choosing this stock because I'm a fan of the platform, and I feel like the power and ability to spread a lot of influence, and I see many people moving and gravitating towards Twitter nowadays, and like I said, huge upside potential for growth. And in terms of stock price as well as the platform in itself, which will drive the stock price up. So this is why I'm just putting my last 1,000 ringgit over here. We can see we get 3.51 around 3.52 shares. So yeah, we're gonna go ahead and buy that. Alright guys, we've got our stock versus crypto chart over here. We can see the amount, so 3,000 ringgit in each, 1,000 ringgit in each crypto asset and stock, and the prices of which we bought it at, and the total amount of shares and the total amount of crypto assets we hold. So just take a quick look here, and I'm really looking forward for episode 2 of this series. Where we'll be adding more. We'll be cashing out some of this. We'll be adding to it. We'll catch up this episode in a few weeks time and see the results. I'm really looking forward to that.